What's up guys? As you can imagine, spending a career working across some of the world's biggest banks, I've come across many wealthy individuals. And one thing that's consistently fascinated me was how they accumulated their wealth. Today, we're going to learn some of the primary sources of people's wealth in the UK according to national statistics. What's up guys, it's Warren Gosling here coming to you with simple, actionable financial literacy tips. If you find today's video useful, subscribe. I actually had a look at my analytics the other day and I saw that 40% of you out there aren't subscribed yet. Guys, don't do me like that. Don't do me like that, guys. Come on.
Come on, son. What the f is the deal? Come on, son.
Come on, hit that subscribe button. Thank you kindly, guys. So according to the Office for National Statistics, the median, which is a measure of average household net wealth in the UK, was £262,000 when last measured nationally. So in super clear layman's terms, the average wealth of each household in the UK is £262,000. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I saw this number of £262,000, my initial gut reaction was like, how?
Soyb?
This number is really high to me. And in hindsight, I think a lot of it has to do with me coming from a working class background and growing up on a council estate in southeast London. And as you can imagine, the average household net wealth on a council estate is a long way off the national average of £262,000, guys. In fact, the national statistics show that the household wealth of the poorest 10% of the nation, i.e. people on council estates like I came from, is £14,000 or less, guys. £14,000 or less, guys. But that's why videos like this are important, guys, and that's why I love doing them. When you grow up in an underprivileged, lower income area, you don't get this sort of financial literacy education and knowledge, which gives you game on how to go about building wealth and where to start, guys. Nobody tells you that the price of UK houses approximately doubles every 10 years in the UK. So saving up and buying a buy-to-let flat might be a good idea. Nobody tells you that instead of buying, say, 2 pairs of Nike Air Maxes per year, you might want to buy 1 pair and use the rest to buy shares in Nike because it's one of the most profitable sportswear companies in the world. So nobody tells you any of this, guys. So knowledge really is power. So let's look at the primary sources of wealth for the average UK household. Now, the primary sources are property wealth, pension wealth, physical wealth, and financial wealth. Now let's go through what each of these sources are in a bit more detail so you can really fully understand them, and then I'll give you a few simple actionable tips on how you can go about building your own wealth in each of these areas. So first is property wealth. This is any property owned, either a main residence plus any other land or property owned in the UK or abroad, less any outstanding mortgages or loans on these properties. So your net property wealth, guys. Second is private pension wealth, which is the value of any pension pots that are not state provided, so private pension pots. This includes occupational pensions, personal pensions, retained rights pensions, and pensions in payment. Third is physical wealth, which is the value of household contents, guys, possessions, valuables owned, such as artwork, antiques, jewelry, vehicles, stuff like that. And then lastly is net financial wealth, which is the value of any financial assets held, guys. So this includes investments such as stocks and shares, current savings accounts, investment vehicles such as ISAs and endowments, less any financial liabilities such as balances on credit cards outstanding, debts, household bills in arrears, student loans, guys, etc. So now that we know what the primary sources of wealth are, how do we get a piece of these pies? Now we'll start out with the biggest one out of the four, which are private pensions, guys. The nation's average private pension wealth is £110,000. Now the pro tip before we go any further, guys, is to start as early as possible. Start saving towards your pension early. Why? One word: compounding, guys. The more time you have for compounding to do its work, the better off you'll be in the long term. Longer time periods supercharge the compounding growth effect, guys. It's just that simple. So if you haven't started yet and you're thinking, oh my God, I'm in my 20s, my 30s, and there's literally cobwebs in my personal workplace pension or private pension pot, don't worry, guys. Today's the day you're going to start doing this and it's going to be okay, guys. Better late than never. So most UK employers offer an automatic enrolment workplace pension if the following applies to you. Either you're classified as a worker, you're aged between 22 and the state pension age, which I think is 65 or 63 or 64, in your 60s, and you earn at least £10,000 per year. So these are that you're classified as a worker, so somebody with a regular job. So these are that you're a worker aged between 22 and the state pension age, which I think is early or mid 60s. Secondly, that you earn at least £10,000 a year. Thirdly, that you usually ordinarily work in the UK. And according to gov.org, 88% of workers eligible for this pension scheme are enrolled. So make sure that you're one of them, guys. If you're even slightly unsure, the action for you today is to ring your HR department or person and check with them, or your boss, and check with them that you're enrolled. And if they make a monthly contribution towards your pension, i.e. free money, guys. Because according to the UK pensions regulator, the minimum contribution which employers have to pay towards your pension is 3%. And then you have to pay in 5% to match that, guys. The exception to this, where your employer doesn't have to contribute towards your pension, is if you earn less than £520 a month or £120 a week. So to get to the national average of £110,000 of pension savings, if we assume a working period of 30 years, so I'm 34 now, so let's assume a working period of 30 years. So the UK national retirement age is actually 66, guys. And I'm using a 30-year period because most of us watching this channel are in our 30s. I've seen it from the analytics. And then if we assume a compounding rate or a rate of return of 3% per annum on your pension pot, in order to get to £110,000 worth of pension savings 30 years from now, you'll want to contribute £190 per month towards your pension, guys. One thing I want to stress is that this doesn't take account of inflation, guys. I don't know what inflation is going to do between now and the next 30 years. I don't know what it's going to do between now and the next 2 years. So you want to factor in inflation as well, because that erodes the value of money over time, guys. So next is my favorite area of investing, that is property wealth. The national average property wealth in the UK is just under £92,000, and only 7% of the nation owns buy-to-let property, guys. 7%. So 93% of people don't own a second home. Let that sink in for a second, guys. According to statistics, most people, the vast majority of people in this country, don't own buy-to-let property. And as someone that does invest in buy-to-let property, there's money to be made in property in the UK, guys. Trust me, I'm speaking from first-hand experience here as an owner. If you want all of my best pro tips and advice on how to get started in property, check out my videos on how to invest in property, guys. I'll put the links in the description below. But to summarize, my tips for you, especially if you're starting out with small amounts of money, is to target properties in regions or areas where the average cost of property is low, guys, where it's cheaper and where there's a lot of regeneration going on. So what is regeneration? This really entails like material, significant investment into the infrastructure of an area. So these will be things like a new train station that's going to connect the area to different towns and cities elsewhere. That's a really big one, guys. Stuff like companies building new offices in an area that's going to create lots of new jobs and therefore raise the affluence of the area. Residential building projects, guys, so new homes and developments being built all around, or a refurb of the town or city centre, guys, so refurbing the shops, building new shops, building a cinema, more restaurants, things like that, guys. So doing your research is huge, guys, so that you choose well. Again, I've given you a breakdown of how I do this for the properties that I buy in my videos, so have a watch of these, guys. And then lastly, if you want to get to the national average of £92,000, which I believe is 100% possible, guys, buy and hold. I mentioned in my other property videos that the UK property market has grown 260% between 2000 and 2020 today. So as long as you do your research and you choose wisely in a good area that's prime for growth, the property market is generally expected to increase in the long term, guys. So let the property market work for you over the long term, guys. Buy and hold. And then lastly are physical wealth and financial wealth. Out of these two, what I really want to focus on is financial wealth, guys, which comprises of stuff like stocks and shares, savings and ISAs, etc. The national average financial wealth in the UK is £32,000, guys. And when we look at the UK FTSE 100 data, we can see that since 1986, it's grown by an average of 5.8% per annum, guys. Assuming that you reinvest your dividends. I've talked about that in my other investing videos. So if you invest in a simple FTSE 100 index tracker and just left it, guys, you just left it, it would have grown at 5.8% per year on average since 1986. So to give you an idea in numerical terms, which is often the clearest way to demonstrate this, if you invested £10,000 in 1986, you would have £196,000 today. So in terms of getting to the £32,000 national average, guys, if you choose a standard FTSE 100 index tracker and invested £75 per month, £75 per month, and choosing the option to have your dividends reinvested and did nothing else, guys, in 20 years you'll have £32,000. You could do it in 15 years if you invested £110 per month, guys, and in 10 years if you invested £195 per month. And on this, guys, in terms of investing in the stock market, my pro tip on how you can start today, go watch my video on how to choose a fund and how to choose an investment platform. That will give you all the info, guys, and I mean all the info to start today, and I'll put links in the description section to those as well, guys. So that's today's video, guys, on UK wealth and how you can get rich in the UK from nothing, guys. So I hope you found it very useful. If you liked today's video, don't be part of that 40%, be part of the 60%. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.